اليوم معنا من مؤتمر ليب في الرياض الرئيس التنفيذي لشركة تيك توك تشيو. Mr. Tchew, welcome to Saudi Arabia.
Thank you.
First of all, let me start with the reasons why you are here in Saudi Arabia. And as I've learned, you've been here for very frequent visits, on very frequent visits in a very short period. So can you tell us why you are here in the country?
Yes, you are right. I've been here 2 times in 2 months now, just in 2024. And it's very exciting for us because it is such an important country, both in terms of the vibrancy of the population, that's so digitally savvy, young, early adopters. And we have learned that, for example, for many of our new product features, like for e-commerce, we want to try it out in Saudi Arabia first because the users are such early adopters and they're so digitally savvy. Now, beyond that also, this is such an important market. I think culturally, it is super important, and we want to make sure that we are here to build the local business. We have a global product, but what is really important to us is that we are investing to understand the local norms, the local culture, and that's the reason why I've been here so frequently, and I look forward to coming back more.
I see. Okay, so I get from what you're saying that Saudi Arabia is important for TikTok. But so how can you measure the importance of Saudi Arabia vis-a-vis other key markets where you operate?
Right. Well, first of all, it is the largest country in the region by population, just by the size of the country itself. But beyond that, it is what I talked about. It's the early adoption of the users and the feedback that we get from them because they're so vibrant and they use so many product features that we have. Beyond that, the usage numbers are growing, and we are very fortunate to have a large and engaged user base here. And also beyond that, we want to make sure that we are providing not just a fun entertainment experience, but we are deepening the content ecosystem. People are using this now for education. They're using our app for education. They're using it to build their businesses. One of the things that we announced just a few days ago was that there are 175,000 small businesses today in the kingdom that relies on our platform for their business. And these are all, very interesting small businesses. I personally, I was sharing, I've been trying to find the best gahwa in the country. And I've been using Where to Eat KSA as a means to find them. I found a place called Four Twins Cafe. I think it's a local cafe, and it's widely prominently featured on our platform. I think it brings them additional business, and that's something that we feel like it's really worth investing in. It's not just the entertainment part of it anymore. It is sort of deepening and delivering positive economic impact to the businesses that it touches.
I'll get back to this point, but you mentioned that the usage is growing. In what way?
Well, in terms of the user numbers are growing, we are seeing that people are trying out various product features for TikTok as well. So there's the For You page, of course we have the Friends page. We're piloting an e-commerce program here as well. And of course we have our live streaming experience, and we see users deepening their experience. It's not just looking at the For You page anymore. They're publishing more, they're sharing more, they're building their own livelihoods and businesses around it. So that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good that you mentioned that the usage of TikTok is growing in the country, but at the same time, there are also other challenges. Many of the users are upset recently with some of the policies, or maybe it's policies, maybe it's the functions or the operations of the TikTok platform. There is a lot of comments recently made about censorship of the Saudi content. Whenever Saudis they want to respond to certain comments, the content gets censored. How do you respond to this?
I've seen this. I've seen some reports of this, and I personally looked into some of the issues that have been raised here. And of course, we take this very seriously because we want our users to have a local and localized experience where they feel like they can inspire creativity and bring joy, and this is an important part of it. There is, it's complex to do content moderation for a platform of this scale, especially all across the world. But and a lot of times, because we prioritize safety, we remove content in an abundance of caution, and some of it may have some unintentional consequences, and it could unintentionally lead to people thinking that, oh, is there a bias here? There is no such policy, of course. All we want to do is to keep the platform safe, and sometimes our moderation is not perfect. What we have done so far, since this has been raised to us, is I've come here twice. We have spoken to many creators, many users, many stakeholders, many regulators, to better understand this problem. And we want to invest in our local language capabilities to be able to take our guidelines, which are again completely neutral and based on safety, and apply them in a much more in a way that's much more precise, in Saudi Arabia. So it's something we take very seriously, and we will continue to invest in our local capabilities to get better with in that regard.
I see, but also there's the issue of live streaming. Many of the users in Saudi Arabia also are complaining that whenever they want to see a live stream on TikTok, they cannot. So what are the reasons behind this, and how are you addressing this issue?
Yes, so we have heard this feedback from many of our users, and what we are doing is we are engaging with the regulators and the stakeholders to better understand what the fundamental problems are. Our approach to tackling issues around the world when it comes to trust issues is that we want to identify the problem. We don't want to sort of debate or argue it away. We want to identify the problem and then build the solutions to try and address the concerns that some stakeholders may have. And that's the same approach we're going to take to this. And I think we're making good progress in many of the conversations that we are having. And we will continue to invest to try and address this challenge.
Since we are talking about the Saudi audience, can you tell us a little bit more about who are they? Who are using TikTok in Saudi Arabia? What is their age profile? What do they look at in general?
It's really sort of very interesting because now we have pretty much a wide adoption of the platform. So it cuts across many demographics. And let me share with you. For example, just this morning, I met with a bunch of our creators, and it really cuts across the spectrum. There was a gentleman who started a teaching academy. He teaches English. He started an academy. He has very successfully used TikTok to not only share educational content, but also gain sort of awareness for his academy, and he's opening a second one as a result of that. So that's the education angle. I met another one who used to work, who is a physician, and he used to work closely with the health ministries to talk about sort of general health related content. He's been very successful as well. And then you go further down the line, and there was someone who's talking about gaming. There is gaming is very big on TikTok. And for example, gaming on TikTok has something like 3 million posts in just half a year, and so the person connects with the community of gamers. Then you have someone who's talking about food and blogging, and talking about food reviews and restaurants, sightseeing, places to see, and then you have the technology review. So it really cuts across the spectrum today, which is the beautiful thing about the platform. It's personalized and customized. So my feed is going to be different from yours, and the diversity of the content pool is what makes TikTok so interesting for so many people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so since you view Saudi Arabia as an important market, what are your plans for Saudi Arabia? And what potential do you see in Saudi Arabia as well?
I think we will continue to invest locally. I talked about the 175,000 small businesses. We also announced a partnership with an NGO called Injaz Saudi Arabia. And the idea is to invest in the youth of the country. So we are in collaboration with them to produce and distribute content that can hopefully reach about 2 million young people here, to empower them to learn more about entrepreneurship, to increase their employability. So that's something that we will continue to invest in. We are also working with the Saudi Tourism Authority, for example, in NEOM. And we have run very successful campaigns with billions of views that showcases, the uniqueness of Saudi Arabia to the rest of the world. And that's been very successful. So we want to make sure that, there's so much culture, music here that is so unique and has such a special place in the world that we want to work closely with the creators and the relevant authorities and agencies to take some of the message and share it with the rest of the world.
I see. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned NEOM and Saudi tourism, because this is the core of the Vision 2030. we want to diversify. NEOM, tourism is one of the key pillars that we want to utilize for the future. So how can you aid or support the Vision 2030 in Saudi Arabia?
Yes, it is, for example, the partnership with Injaz, Saudi Arabia, the one where we empower the youth, that is aligned with the vision of Vision 2030. We also believe that, by working with the right ministries, we can take the many aspects of Saudi Arabia that is not that well understood, by some people around the world, but it's so unique and culturally so special with such deep history, and really provide the platform for many in the world to learn about it, because it's both informational, and it creates. We believe that this discoverability of information is so important, for people who are on our platform. So those are exciting things that we're working on.
I see. Now, for someone like me, I don't have a TikTok account. So how can you make the platform appealing to someone in my age who with no account? How can you lure me into your realm?
I think the best marketer for the product is the product itself. I would just encourage you to try it. A lot of people, they have some misconceptions about TikTok. Is it only dancing and singing? Is it only for a certain demographic? I think the platform has grown beyond that at this moment in time. It really cuts across many things. Education. For moms, they find the community groups as well. So the only thing I'll say is try it. Try it. I think you will like it. Okay,
so for businesses, would I make money out of TikTok if I went on the platform?
For businesses, they can leverage our platform in many ways. The first way is obviously to get traffic, to get awareness and to get people to discover you. We talked about some of the creators I met this morning. I met at least two of them who, through creating content, have actually built a business in themselves. So they no longer have a need to have, their full-time job is now a TikTok creator, because they have built the capability to attract a lot of traffic and convert that into traffic for their business itself. There are many other ways. For example, we also provide tools for people to advertise on our platform, and it reaches a very different demographic, because the way the advertising platform works is it's part of the conversation. The ads are part of the conversation on TikTok, and it's not something that's imposed on the users.
I see. So my last question to you: how can you assure all the Saudis, the families, that their youth are in safe hands when it comes to being not exposed to harmful content? And I'm sure that this is something you're doing elsewhere in the world as well, in the US mainly.
Yeah, we prioritize this in a very, we prioritize this within our organization. We are going to spend more than $2 billion in trust and safety. We have invested in thousands of Arabic speakers, and we will invest in more local capabilities. The mission of the company is to inspire creativity and to bring joy. And people cannot do that if they don't feel safe. So we believe that it is core to the business sustainability and long-term, prospects to keep the platform safe. So we're completely aligned to invest in that. I think, we have built many capabilities to identify many threats. So the majority of the platform experience that you will have if you use it is very safe and very enjoyable. But this is, there's no finish line to this. So we will need to invest to stay ahead of our growth.
So the Saudi TikTokers will be happy by the end of this year?
It will be.
You will resolve all the issues?
It will be my strong desire to understand all the issues that are being raised, and have a very strong commitment to really address them fundamentally.
I see. Mr. Tchew, thank you so much for giving us the pleasure and the time to discuss all these issues here at LEAP. And I'll try TikTok. No promises, but I'll try TikTok. Maybe next time we meet, I will be a TikToker or a creator, maybe. Who knows?
Well, best of luck with that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you. كان معنا من مؤتمر ليب في 24 في الرياض الرئيس التنفيذي لشركة تيك توك تشيو. شكرا لكم على المتابعة.